Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner. Yes, with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how I've created this card. I've used the new brilliant watercolor pans from Altenew and one of their stunning images as well. So it's a really lovely look and I love how it turned out. So I'm going to start off with the beautiful heart, and I'm just going to be using these two images here, the flower and the leaves. I'm also going to use the die set just to cut out a simple mask. So here you go, I've just cut the mask out and I have used this before. To start with, I'm going to use the Sand Dunes ink, and I'm just going to ink up my flower, but I'm not going to stamp this directly onto my watercolor paper. I'm actually going to stamp it off first onto some scratch paper, so I just have a really faint outline on my card. So this is a watercolor card and it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it's going to fit perfectly on my card base. So as you can see, it's really faint. I'm then going to cover it with my mask. I just cut this out of some masking paper and I've just used the die just to do that one. I'm then going to stamp the leaves, so again I'm inking up with the sand dunes, stamping off first and then stamping it into place. I do this twice so I have a little bit more of a leaf gathering around the bottom of the flower. So as you can see, I've inked it up again, stamped it off, and then I'm stamping it into place. Once I have done that, I will then be able to remove the mask. So once I remove the mask, you can see that you can hardly see it, but you can actually see it when you're up close, so I'm sorry about that. I'm then going to use the fabulous new watercolors from Altenew, so there's so many colors in here. To start with, I did make myself a little color chart so I can see which colors that I do want to use then. So to start with, I'm just going to use a watercolor brush. This is from Altenew, this is the medium, and I'm just going to go over one of the petals with some clean clear water. Now when you're doing the no line watercolor effect, you don't want to paint in colors that are, and petals that are next to each other. You're going to want to make sure they're dry so it doesn't bleed in. I'm then taking some color. This one is the purple wine, and I'm just dropping it in where I think we'll have the most shadows. So this is underneath petals and at the base of the petal as well. So I'm just going to keep adding colour and water. So as you can see, I'm dropping in a little bit more colour, then adding some more water just to pull it out a little bit. I wanted to add a little bit of variation into my petals. So I'm then going to add in a little bit of sun-kissed and also some warm sunshine as well. So I've mixed around with these colours to give me varying looks on each of the petals. So as you can see, it works out really well. All I'm doing is adding water, then dropping in the colour. If I've added in a little bit too much colour, like I think I've done here, I'm just going to make my brush really dry and I'm just going to take away some of that colour. So that was just a dry brush, so it will pick up the colour. So I keep going on and on all the way around through my flower. So as you can see, it's the same technique that I used on the first one, but I've just sped these up just so you can see how the flower does come together. I'm going to pop on a little bit of music now so you don't have to hear me waffling all the way through how I've painted this flower, and then you'll be able to see it for yourself. So as you can see, I'm coming to the end of the flower, and I didn't have time to wait to these to dry, so I did use my heat tool just to dry them off before I did the petal that was next to it. For the center, I've just added in a little bit of evergreen just to make it pop a little bit more, and I do end up adding some more in the end. So then I'm going to move on to the leaves. So for these, again, I'm just adding down the water, and I'm then adding in some colour with some evergreen and some forest glades from the set. As you can see, I kind of go in lines on the leaves just to give me more of a natural leaf pattern on there. And I do like how these turned out, especially that they're so soft and that they do blend into the background a little more than that flower does. I like that the flower does pop more than the leaves on this one. So as you can see, I'm just going around with the water first, adding in the lines on the petal that I think would be there. You do have guidelines on the stamped image, so this works out really well. So I'm just adding the piece onto a card base now. I've just added it in with some double-sided tape because it did warp a little bit, so I just wanted it nice and straight on there, and this is some really sticky tape. I'm then going to take a sentiment from the In My Thoughts stamp set, and I'm just going to line this up on my Misty before I do stamp this down. I'm using some jet black ink from Altenew just to simply stamp this in a nice black, crisp black ink, and I love how simple it looks, but it's also very, very pretty. So there is my card complete. I really do hope that you've enjoyed the video and that you do give it a go, and if you do, I would love to see what you come up with. So thank you so much for watching, and if you don't want to miss out on any videos that we do upload onto the channel, it would be great if you do subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again really, really soon. Bye bye.